A clan of starving nomads on the verge of collapse is suddenly settled in the most productive agricultural province of the world's reigning superpower. This migration was driven by a regional catastrophe, a famine so severe it broke the ancient Near East, forcing the patriarch Jacob and his family to trade their arid reality for the hope of Egyptian grain. Jacob's son Joseph, now the second most powerful man in the empire, oversees the logistics of their arrival. He secures them a land called Goshen, a lush, watered territory in the heart of the Nile Delta. The contrast is total. Outside the borders of Goshen, the surrounding nations are entering a period of prolonged starvation. Inside, the Israelites have access to the empire's best grazing lands. When a place of refuge offers absolute security and wealth, it exerts a new kind of pressure on the residents. The immediate abundance of the Delta begins to compete with the memory of the original journey they were supposed to be on. This tomb painting shows the agricultural engine that once powered the lives of the Egyptian people. But as the famine deepens, that engine begins to stall. Joseph's administration of the grain reserves effectively drains the private wealth of the nation. To buy food, the native citizens first exhaust every cent of their personal currency. When the money is gone, the collapse moves to physical assets. The people are forced to trade their livestock to the state storehouses just to keep their families fed. This flowchart tracks the three-step transfer of wealth. After money and livestock are gone, citizens take the final step, trading their ancestral land and bodies to the pharaoh. By the end, the state achieves a total monopoly on property. For the native Egyptians, the price of surviving the famine was the total loss of autonomy. While the citizens of the empire are becoming servants to the crown, the Israelite community in Goshen is moving in the opposite direction. They are acquiring property, establishing deep roots, and seeing their numbers increase rapidly. This population boom is the Abrahamic covenant in action, unfolding inside a territory that is technically a place of exile. 17 years pass. Jacob is now an old man, watching his children and grandchildren thrive in a level of luxury and safety their ancestors never experienced. Most families in this position would choose to make this prosperity permanent, but Jacob's next move is a rejection of the comfort his family has worked for. On his deathbed, Jacob calls for Joseph. He demands a solemn oath, requiring Joseph to place his hand under his thigh, a gesture of absolute commitment. Jacob's instruction is a direct refusal of Egyptian burial. He commands that his body be taken out of the very land that saved his life. This stone fortress stands over the location Jacob demanded, the cave of Machpelah in Canaan. He insists on being buried alongside Abraham and Isaac. This cave was the only piece of the Promised Land that the patriarchs actually owned, a small, humble plot compared to the vastness of Goshen. By demanding this burial, Jacob forces his descendants to look past their immediate success. He ensures that even in death, his bones will lead them back toward a commitment that Egypt could never fulfill. Jacob's final demand reframes the entire Goshen experience. The Delta was a life raft that provided the resources for survival, but it remained a waiting room. The bread of the Delta kept the family alive during the drought, but the stones of Canaan held the promise of their identity. Egypt was about staying alive. Canaan was about why they existed. It is the universal challenge of navigating life's comfortable in-betweens. It is possible to accept the sanctuary of a season of safety, as long as that comfort doesn't become the final chapter of the story.